Whereas Xbox, well, they're known for Crackdown, Halo, Gears of War. So all these titles, which are interesting, they don't, like you said in your previous videos, though, they can't level to Last of Us. They can't
The
level
only
to
the only
Infamous.
game on the Xbox that I ever considered buying an Xbox for was Cuphead. You guys remember that game? That's the only game where I was just like, man, I really want an Xbox.
Yeah.
I never looked at Gears of War or Halo because there's shooters out there that I could play that are just better than them, like Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, Battlefield. I mean, why would I want to go play Gears of War? Like, what's pulling me into buying an Xbox for only Gears of War? And you know, there's nothing. There's really, like, people want to say that this is like a console war. No, I'm a Sony pony. Like everybody called Kobe in that video. Kobe, you got like 4,000 dislikes in that video, huh?
Try 5.2, buddy.
5,200.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you said was true. They don't have anything to, like, what are we gonna play? FIFA 2021? Like, what's really in the Xbox category?
Well, I still don't understand the backlash on that video. I literally don't get it. And I read those comments. They don't like hurt my feelings or anything. I think people think that I am like sad that the video is negative. It's I don't understand. I'm like, what? How is this? And also, I mean, the other thing is people like disliked, bro. And I'm like, yeah, even though you dislike, you still watch an ad in front of the video. So who really wins? Anyways, I just don't understand. What did I say that was so controversial and wrong? Like,
it's just that you're literally saying complete facts. Like, I'm not saying that, like, that's, people can say like the Xbox has games and like people can support Xbox all they want, but just realistically, PlayStation has a better catalog. They obliterated them in the last console war. Like, there's the last generation was all PlayStation. Like, what did Xbox do in this generation? What did they do? What games? What did they have?
Not a damn thing. You played Halo Wars 2.
What game won Game of the Year 2018? A PlayStation exclusive. God of War.
I mean,
what games were nominated for Game of the Year 2018? PlayStation exclusives. 2019 PlayStation exclusives. Death Stranding. Like, all these crazy titles you see making heavy hitting waves and articles talking about how encapsulating they are and games you must play. Most of the time, it's PlayStation exclusives. And Xbox, like you've said, and it's just not like bias or anything, it's just a fact. Like, they haven't done anything encapsulating enough to compete with that market. And that's, that's kind of their fault, but also they're going in a different direction from Sony, but it's not a direction that will be competing with them in a fair way. They're not really on that level, and that's, sad to see, but it's the truth. And it's just kind of, how things are with that business model versus what Sony's business model is.
Yeah. I was about to ask if like that Silent Hill PT thing that Kojima made that one day, was that also for PlayStation only? Because I don't remember that.
It was a demo on PlayStation only, I think, and maybe PC.
Well, that also hit a lot of people. Like, there was a lot of people that just like wanted to get the PlayStation just to play the PT. Like,
I was one of them too. I was like, what is this? Like, oh my God, Silent Hill's like, whoa, that's nuts. And because these experiences not only are great for fans, but they also push the brand that they want to try and support even further. Like, why do you think there's so many PlayStation dedicated channels nowadays, or PlayStation news websites, Push Square or PlayStation Lifestyle, like all these related media sources that are reporting on nothing but Sony games? And it's just because of the experiences that they have are so high quality compared to anything else that we've seen so far. And it's crazy to think that people are trying to claim like there's no competition, there's no clear winner. Like, yes, there is. You're blind. Sorry, but it's a fact.
Here, one of the comments from my video, this one has 223 likes. Most of them have more. One of them said, "I came here to see what this person had to say. Sadly, I don't think he's knowledgeable about how Xbox is changing." Yes, they're changing. Their change is we're going to be user friendly. We don't like exclusives. Exclusives are bad. We don't. What he doesn't realize is that exclusives have been phenomenal for the industry. Objectively speaking, as we said, a lot of the best games we've gotten are exclusives. So yes, on the surface level, when I look at a game like Batman, I don't want it to be exclusive to one game, but that is or to one console. But that is not to say that exclusives have not been a net positive to the industry, because as we've noted, Spider-Man PS4, Uncharted, these other games couldn't exist without Sony's vested interest in making them great. Whereas, as we've mentioned with Activision and EA and other purely game publishers, they do not have the same incentive to make these games the best video games ever made. They just have an incentive to poop them out, shit them out, fucking make money on the back end, and that's what they're doing. Okay? So that's really where the difference is. And the direction that they're taking is not the best for their brand. It's going to cause them to get absolutely obliterated by Sony because they can say, like if you've seen, Phil Spencer's been throwing shade at Sony repeatedly, in interviews, repeatedly. It's cringe because he's like, we don't believe in cutting players off. So we're going to have all of our Xbox games. They're going to be on both Xbox One and Series X. And it's like, okay, dude, that's nice and all. One problem is no one even owns an Xbox One. And secondly, I mean, I do, but pretty much nobody does. And well, the thing is too, is I have like the Kinect version, like the $500 one from like launch, the fucking gigantic, VCR player looking thing. And he is totally delusional. He literally thinks that, we're going to have so much backwards compatibility for us. It's not about the console. It's about the games. And as I said, there's no games to play. There's nothing I'm looking forward to. Their showcase was showing these weird, now some of them looked okay. I wouldn't say that Halo looked terrible. It's just I'm not rushing out to go buy an Xbox to play Halo Infinite. That's all I'm saying. And certainly you can have that holier than thou attitude of like, we don't believe in exclusives. They're just not fair. They're not good. We don't like, and as I pointed out in the video, and people are getting triggered about this, I'm just rehashing the same exact things I said in the video that caused me to get dislike bombed. So it's coming again in this podcast. We'll see.
I got a question though. Is that what actually said though? Is there like, are they really going to put the Series X games backwards compatible for Xbox One?
Yes. So Halo Infinite is going to be on Xbox One. Okay, so there's no reason. There's no reason. There's no reason.
I don't get it. I don't know why you're getting hate. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's totally brain dead marketing and business decisions. Not only that, it holds back the studios. They don't even realize that they're doing it, but the studios the reason Halo Infinite graphics don't look good, and they said, we're trying to return to the original art style from Halo 2. That's all BS. The real reason the graphics look shitty is because they know from the beginning that the game has to work on Xbox One. They've been told all of our games are backwards compatible. This is not a next-gen game. It is a last-gen game that will be slightly revved up for next-gen. There's a big difference. There's a difference between making a game on the PS5 and then making and it being accessible for PS4 and vice versa. They're making an Xbox One game that has to run and work on Xbox One fully. It has to have, smooth fidelity and all of that. And they also have to do that on Xbox Series X. That, of course, is holding them back. If they had just made a game that is purely a next-gen game, what they could have done with the graphics, the gameplay, the frame rate, all that would be way, way higher than what they're limited with by this move. So it's terrible in multiple ways. It's terrible from a marketing angle. It's terrible from a games angle. It's terrible just all in all. So that's my take.
The console war. So
it's so funny because I literally said, I do not care about the console war. What do I have to say? I can't prove to you I don't. I'm just telling you. I know what I'm the only person in my thoughts. I'm the only one that knows what I actually believe. I know for a fact I do not have any strong brand loyalty to PlayStation or Xbox. I just don't. I've owned 360. I own PS3. I owned Xbox One. I owned PS4. I don't care. And for me to give objective analysis, what I believe to be objective analysis of the landscape of the industry, how things are evolving, how Xbox is faring, is going to fare to the PS5, and just call balls and strikes on it. It's like Sony pony. And it's like, what are you talking about? I just said that I don't care. They're like, well, you say you don't care, but you do, and you don't even know it. And I'm like, no, I really don't. But okay, dude, whatever.
So all it is that because you were it's just your personal preference, and that's it. It's simple as that.
What'd you say, Marcel? What'd you say, Marcel?
You were literally so calm and collective, and not even like trying to bash Xbox.
Exactly.
It was just so bizarre because I was like, okay, this video has like 800 dislikes and 1,000 likes. I'm like, okay, that just happened. It was like the first day or like the second day, and I came back the next day, it has like 3,000 dislikes. I'm like, what did you say? And I watched it again. And it's like you didn't say anything wrong at all. You were like,
quote,
objective you could be.
I thought so too. And there's this comment, quote, "The console war is stupid," end quote, which is what I said. And quote, "I'm not a fanboy," end quote, to then immediately turn into a fanboy. And what did I do to fanboy saying that Sony is
They
better
like
exclusive,
skip like
saying
5
that
pieces
Sony
of
is better
logic in that
games?
whole statement. Like, how
Yeah.
does that connect to that? What? Like, okay, it's just
Yeah,
I was
crazy.
talking
Saying
about
Sony has better games, saying it's gonna fare better versus or it's not gonna
Right.
Series X is gonna get destroyed by PS5. That's not fanboying. And people like I don't know if they're just like young. I don't know if it was all like 12-year-olds that were like basically finding this video through the YouTube search bar, but they lack any form of like common sense to think about this objectively. The most liked comment says, quote, "I'm not a fanboy," end quote, which is what I said. And then fanboys over the PS5 the whole video. The reason I'm fanboying over the PS5 is because it's better and I'm more excited for it and there's more
Right.
games that I'm excited for. That's not fanboying. That's not saying that I'm biased one way. And that's the that's the inclination. When you say fanboy, I am a fanboy for Batman. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they show on August 22nd. I'm still going to freak out and I'm still going to love it no matter what. That is fanboying. Fanboying is blind love. If PS5 fucked up tomorrow, I would criticize them. So
Yeah.
that is how you know it's not fanboying. You don't see like I don't have a PlayStation tattoo. I don't have like PlayStation. Well, you can't see my like I'm not a fanboy for PlayStation in any way. I don't have PlayStation T-shirts. I'm not like some simp for PlayStation. So I just
Wow,
don't
I
understand.
have your T-shirt. Am I a fanboy of you? Since I have
Well,
your T-shirt.
I think a better phrase is a simp. You're a part of the simp
Oh,
mafia.
oh yeah,
That's how you would say it.
Simp
Simp
Mafia.
Mafia. Wow.
I'm apparently since I'm critical towards Avengers, my audience apparently called me a spider simp. So I'm.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
See, you never win. Like if you're a fanboy and you praise everything, you're like, you're a fanboy, you're a shill. And then if you're critical, they're like, oh well, you're just doing that. So here's the thing. Here's a trend we're noticing across both Evan, your content, and my content. Basically, malice is assigned to your opinions, or not even malice, but like averse reasoning as to why you think that way. So you can't just not like something because you don't like it, and you can't just like something because you like it. There's some ulterior motive in your head that you don't even know about. That's the thing where they get you.
Yeah.
Is I say I'm not a Sony fan. They're like, yes, you are. You don't even know it. And so that's the thing, is that it doesn't matter what you say if there's always that like averse sort of malintention assigned to you, and it's like, well, the reason he doesn't like Avengers is because he's just a blind insomniac fanboy and he loves Spider-Man, and that's the reason that you don't like it. You see, it's not because the game just doesn't look all that good. It's because you have like this weird hatred towards Square Enix and you have this affinity for Insomniac that is unhealthy, and you want everything else to fail because you love Insomniac that much, which of course is not true. But that's what
I was exposed online because I'm mad at Avengers because Spider-Man isn't playable in the game. You got
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Marcel saw that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he
You
literally
got me.
said, yeah,
Cat's
Evan,
out of
you
the
don't like
bag.
this game because Spider-Man's not
Exposed.
in it. Like I felt the same way when The Last of Us Part 2 was getting leaked and whatnot when I was coming out. Like, okay, guys, we could calm down. We see the leaks, but how about we just wait for the context? And I got called a cuck. I got called so many things for just saying, why don't we just wait to see the full extent of what's happening within the video game?